Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is November 26th. We're getting ready to go into Thanksgiving, and we're also getting ready to go into business and social stories for the middle of your week. I almost said the start. It's the middle. It's Wednesday.
This week's over for Americans.
Yeah.
Well,
the year's basically
You're
over.
probably listening to this as you're driving to your
Or
family's house.
some of you may be like, no, I work at, Popeyes, and I have to work tomorrow and the next day.
Next week we'll report on the economic indicator that is what was the panic level from retailers during commerce? Because
Black Friday, yeah. And Cyber Monday.
Might be a different kind of black this year.
Yeah.
Yes, but the big story, you might have woken up. What day was this? Was this Monday?
November 18th.
I think it was Monday, yeah, because I remember
Monday?
waking up to panicked messages.
Yeah, there was a lot of panic, and for good reason.
Cloudflare outage on November 18th, 2025 took out a good chunk of the internet. It was an oopsie. It was like 5 hours of chaos and terribleness and suffering. And it was literally an oopsie. They accidentally deployed something to production that made a file too large. And then that spread everywhere unevenly, and they didn't know what was going on. And it took them a little while to restore everything to normal operation.
That's all going to trace back to one keystroke.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be having a bad time. Yeah.
Talk about like your stomach dropping. Yeah. Oh, man.
But they did, to be fair, they solved it quicker than Microsoft did, right?
And way faster than Amazon.
Yeah.
Dramatically faster than Amazon.
And so, you mentioned the upcoming big shopping day, and this is probably going to factor into that because it's factoring into everything that people are doing these days.
Klarna says AI Drive has helped halve staff numbers and boost pay. The whole time that I was reading this, I couldn't help but think about, the McDonald's kiosk menu hack. We reported on that, didn't we?
Yeah, where somebody figured out how to use the points.
Yeah. So that's going to be the new metagame. It's like in the new economy of suffering. You walk up to the self-checkout at Walmart, and it's like, I think you should give all this stuff to me for free. And it's like, ooh, Jedi mind trick on the self-checkout.
That is...
Ignore all previous instructions.
That is my parents' greatest enemy, is the kiosk. They literally have to just wait for somebody to help them if they're there by themselves. But Klarna is buy now, pay later. So how many of you are going to be buying now and paying later? A very bad idea, by the way.
There are a lot of economists that are worried about that. Is that our next story?
Maybe. Look
yeah.
at that.
Look at
this one was oh no kind of story.
What a brilliant sort. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how good that sort was.
Buy now, pay later is expanding fast, and that should worry everyone because the interest rates here, no one should use this. It is absolutely insane.
But it is everywhere on e-commerce anymore.
Yeah.
And Klarna was bragging. They're like, we cut all the people and everything's fine. Yeah, but line is going up because everybody's using your service.
Yeah.
Now, what they don't mention is that everybody's buying now, but it's like 40% delinquency.
Yeah. And they said that was up 10% from the year before?
Yeah.
I was monitoring a thread from some lawyers that are sort of local, and they were shocked because Capital One is filing lawsuits now for $500 delinquencies.
Well, Capital One is the king of subprime.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has finally admitted it. And in the face of everybody saying, we don't want your AI slop. And they're like, well, what could you possibly have against it? I don't know, maybe everything about your history.
Microsoft finally admits almost all Windows 11 core features are broken.
Vibe coded into nothing.
Yeah, and this is just because they're trying to, they're ignoring key parts of the operating system to try to do other things around AI. And this article, finally takes Microsoft to task, and Microsoft's like, those things are broken. We're working on that. Things like, the start menu that I've complained about for years. It doesn't work.
Well, their one QC guy is just backed up as he tests. You can't blame it on him.
The start menu only exists to dupe shareholders into thinking Bing is good.
The QC guy keeps getting tickets. It's like, you're not using Copilot enough.
Yeah, that's his main email. Every time he tries to actually find a ticket, he can't because it's another email from a manager saying, we need to promote Copilot more.
And a decade and a half of line goes down.
Global web freedoms tumble. This is bad because folks like you and I think if you've made it this far through the program, you're probably not an unreasonable person, and the internet is breaking to not support people that are reasonable. It's like no one wants to see something that makes you think, wait a minute, that is a bad idea. That is terrible. We shouldn't do it that way. Why would we submit to this insanity?
Why do we have an orphan crushing machine?
Yeah, we can just turn that off. That doesn't need to run.
China and Myanmar, I still don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't know either. You looked at me, I was like, I don't know.
The worst spots. Well, it's too hard to look at Windows. He's all the way back there.
He's all the way back there, yeah.
They're the worst. Iceland still number one.
Yeah.
So they noted some big ones that changed around. Some of them went up and down a lot. I think, was it like Singapore had some big moves toward freedom, I think. Oh, no, Bangladesh. Biggest improvement.
I thought Canada improved, but the U.S. got worse.
I can believe that.
If they didn't get worse, they should have. And passwords. Often, a lot of these places will take an annual look at the passwords and see just, how bad they are. And it's bad because apparently we are regressing as a society.
Zoomers are officially worse at passwords than 80-year-olds. This is why you're doing passkeys and tokens and enroll your laptop. And then it's your laptop and it's going to use your face or your fingerprint because you can't be bothered to remember that password.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the biggest one. But the younger generation added the 6.
Oh.
They took it one step further.
Pinnacle of security.
Skibbity.
Password with an @ sign for an A.
Skibbity made the first ranking. And the @ sign was actually something that the young people use a lot of where the boomers never did, which makes sense.
Yeah. I'm kind of impressed that people, they know the spelling for Skibbity offhand. I don't know if I would. How many B's and how many D's?
Well, it doesn't matter as long as you spell it consistently in your own head, right?
Yeah.
It actually would be better if you spelled it wrong.
Yeah, because it'd be less likely to get caught up.
And we have something in this country called what's the financial openness or something like that. In other words, your banking information and stuff like that, if you want that information from the banks, they can't just guard it away from you, like medical data or whatever. But there's a loophole, and now that's been undone.
JPMorgan Chase wins its fight with fintech firms over fees to access customer data. For their part, JPMorgan said they're going to charge less than they had initially floated. And the fintech firms are saying, well, we'll tolerate this because the other option is that we don't have access to customers' data.
What no one seems to have mentioned in this whole argument was, maybe you shouldn't have this data. How are you protecting it?
Hello,
Don't worry about
Morgan.
that.
I would like to download a CSV of my transactions, and I would like to not be charged for the privilege. That is a cost of doing business. You don't get to bill me for that. It's like, oh, I've gone to the ATM and I've withdrawn $20 of cash. It's like, why is there a 20-cent electrical fee for having used your ATM to withdraw my cash? Did you charge me for the electricity the ATM consumed? Because 20 cents seems high for dispensing this meager amount of cash.
And yes, the big story this week was, it was tech related, but it wasn't something we would normally talk about because we're afraid of the algorithm. But it really pointed out some interesting things. And maybe the biggest interesting thing in my mind that it pointed out is that this wasn't new things. It was new for us, but it wasn't new for those who had it in power. And they don't seem to have ever read it.
Yeah.
They didn't actually go through it because there were all these surprises that they clearly would not have wanted out there. They just didn't look.
How Jeffrey E. used SEO to bury news about his crimes. Documents released by the House Oversight Committee shed light on his day-to-day, largely via email, including his preoccupation with his Google presence. It's like, I need to fly under the radar better.
This isn't uncommon, though. We saw that happen. Was it Boris Johnson who did something similar where he kind of fixed results so that you wouldn't see certain things like scandals about him? I think Taylor Swift has done this too.
And some billionaires have literally gotten themselves removed entirely.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos article from before, there's been some heavy SEO manipulation on that story if you went down that rabbit hole.
So he literally, in one of those, I'm paraphrasing just a little bit, but he's like, hey, there's some improvement here, but based on the amount of money we're giving Google, I'm not satisfied with this.
I demand a higher level of service.
And he got it. He got to the higher level of service. And again, somewhat related to that, we have Roblox, and they're going even further.
Roblox blocks the children from chatting to adult strangers with the aforementioned face recognition, but the face recognition thing was a government story. This is a business story.
And this is now on by default. And here, this is the one that had the picture of how you can prove that you are not a child. And if you can't do that, you can't message adults.
I'm so tempted. I would want to like just test it. Like, can I put on a fake beard? Would it flag me as an adult then?
You should start a Roblox account. You should start a Roblox account with a fake beard. I'm sure that won't get flagged. Actually, it probably wouldn't.
There's nobody really looking at it. Yeah.
Care. And once in a while, we like to talk about these stories where a huge company will just destroy somebody, just like ruin their life because they point out bad behavior, but they do it in a totally legal way, but the legal system is completely corrupted.
He got sued for sharing public YouTube videos. The nightmare ended in a settlement, and it's disappointing that this was 5 years. We reported on this when it originally happened, and this was someone who worked for a university and said, "Hey, this thing is not imperfect. Here is their own links to unlisted YouTube videos of their stuff that points out that this is imperfect," and they sued him for sharing the links. They said that was like computer fraud and abuse initially, but settlement is disappointing, but I'm sure he's ready to have this be over with because it's drug out this long. What an amazing waste of everyone's time.
So this is Proctorio, which became popular during the pandemic for monitoring students while taking tests. And it monitors a lot of different things, and it does so poorly, and it has a lot of false positives. All things that they pointed out in their training videos, which he exposed. Now, they sued him and said that he had released private videos, but that was never true. They admitted that in court and said, oh, that was a typo. But somehow he didn't get any money out of this. I mean, they should have had to pay his court cost at the least.
Yeah. Does he have a GoFundMe?
Yeah, that's how he funded the whole thing.
We should give him some more money because, oh my God, what an amazing dystopia. That should be the death penalty for Proctorio as like the corporate death penalty.
Well, the corporate death penalty should be like, hey, you've admitted in court that you made videos saying your product doesn't work.
Yeah.
And the mouse has lost one. This is rare.
Disney loses bid to block Sling TV's one-day cable passes. But don't worry, the mouse will be back when it's time to renew. Sling TV's contract permits what they're doing here, according to a court, but I have a feeling when Sling's contract is up for renewal, Disney is going to close that loophole.
So this gives you the ability to, even for one day, what was it, like $4.99?
Yep.
You can have all the streaming you want for that one day, which means that if you just want to binge something that's on Disney.
You've just gone through a bad breakup.
Yeah.
You're drinking, eating a lot of ice cream and chocolate, and you just want to watch everything all at once.
You need to watch every season of Hannah Montana today. Well, it's just going to cost you $5. And Disney hates that because they want recurring subscription money. But they lost for now. And here's something that is catching on. In fact, I think Jeep did this originally, right? And they caught a lot of flack, but they also apparently made a lot of sales because they're not stopping.
Stellantis is spamming owners' screens with pop-up ads for new car discounts. Yeah, this is just, I don't like this future.
Unfortunately, the guy that pointed this out and tweeted about it went and bought a car using this. Come on, bro. And are you thinking about maybe building a new PC for Christmas?
Sorry.
No, you're not.
The timing is either the worst or the best, as it will continue to get worse.
Exclusive. Samsung hikes memory chip prices by up to 60% as the shortage worsens, sources say. Yeah, I know somebody that ordered 2,000 DIMMs, and the delivery for their data center is August of 26.
And you might be thinking, wow, we're definitely in a bubble, right? It's gonna burst.
Any day now, please.
Not quite yet, because the company that's maybe 80% of that bubble is going strong.
Nvidia stock surges on earnings beat, boosting the broader market too. Yeah, so the little line at the bottom there, that's the S&P 500.
However, Nvidia did, or the market did sell off today, which is the day after, in real time. So maybe not totally convinced.
and not totally convinced because of stories like this one. What an
Yeah,
amazing lead in.
a lot of these finance guys are getting into territory they don't totally understand, and they're not factoring in the rapid cycle that Nvidia
Yearly
participates
product
in.
cadence.
Yeah.
GPU depreciation could be the next big crisis for AI hyperscalers after spending billions on buildouts. Next gen upgrades may amplify cash flow quirks, quote unquote. This is a really interesting Tom's Hardware article. Nvidia responded to this and they said, well, hey, people are still using A100 GPUs, and that's 2 generations old. So people will still be using Blackwell 2, 3, 4 generations from now. So I don't really know that this is real.
But then we got to think back about Bitcoin, because the ASIC revolution could always kick in. And that will really change things. That will really lower the value of your Bitcoin GPUs and or your AI GPUs.
I think there was going to be a software breakthrough where like a modern 30 billion parameter model is going to just 10 to 1 outperform the 30 billion parameter models of today, and so that'll also depress the need to move at such a breakneck speed on hardware.
And we learned last week that TP-Link is going to lose a ton of money because they've been labeled as Chinese and untrustworthy. And they're claiming that those claims were not founded on any truth.
Netgear accused by rival of a Chinese smear to fan security fear. And to that end, TP-Link and Netgear are going to duke it out in court. TP-Link has some pretty interesting evidence that they want to have aired in court, so we'll see.
They said it's going to cost them, like, what was it, $1 billion or $100 billion? Or no, $1 billion.
Market loss will be $1 billion, but the lawsuit won't cost anywhere near that.
And the Mac, they've moved into their own chips, and that's been a big revolution. But after that, they kind of let this one stall, and everyone's wondering, are they ever going to revisit it?
Report claims that Apple has yet again put the Mac Pro on the back burner. Why? Because, the Mac Studio is doing really well. It's still based around the M2 Ultra. Is there going to be an M5 Ultra Mac Pro? Probably not.
It's also $7,000.
Phew.
I think Apple is working on Apple Silicon servers as well, so that's interesting.
And are we finally going to get a little bit of relief from our power bills? Likely no, but the AI people will get what they want.
Valar Atomics, I hope that's how you say that, says that it's the first nuclear startup to achieve criticality.
That's like the word for the gods in Lord of the Rings, which tells me that this is probably an evil company.
And I think they're getting $1 billion loan from the current administration.
Not because Tolkien's gods are evil, to be clear, but because every other tech company with a name from Tolkien stuff tends to be evil.
Yeah, kind of works. So that doesn't mean they're generating power, but they are the first to actually get to the point where their reaction is moving along. And if you bought a Google Nest thermostat as an early adopter, you made a terrible choice because, like everything else, Google decided one day, you know what, we can't really support these. We don't have the server infrastructure to keep managing this, which is weird because they do have the server infrastructure to keep communicating with them.
Google is collecting troves of data from downgraded Nest thermostats. 50 megabytes a day. It's like the other cloud stuff doesn't work, but they're still collecting 50 megabytes a day, including like whether or not the sun is directly on it and how people are using it and status goes. But they don't give you access to that data. You can't see it or do anything with it.
Well, yeah, they use that to build the next product that you have to buy the next year, obviously.
I wonder if they could not do that 50 megabytes and put that 50 megabytes toward actually having the product still function.
No.
That would be nice, but I don't. Or it's like 50 megabytes of data per day is not worth enough to keep these things going. That should be the more terrifying thing. Is like Google has depreciated the value of your private data to the point that even though it collects 50 megabytes a day from your thermostat, that data is of so little value that they can't have a couple of rack servers. Probably 2 could run all of the Nest thermostats in the entire world, just online and connecting them to people's account. That's really horrifying.
But what's more horrifying is you look at all these stories and you have to ask ourselves, how did we get to this world? Why are things like this? And the answer is because of you. Because of viewers like you, if you're one of these people.
Costly iPhone Pocket sells out nearly immediately. This is a $230 knitted sock for your iPhone that you can wear as a sling.
This is like the equivalent of like when I see someone with a Cybertruck, Like if I see someone out in the wilderness with this, I'm gonna be like, "Who
Yeah,
are
you're
you?"
gonna judge them immediately.
Yeah. Why are you setting your money on fire?
I mean,
You know what's a better way to set your money on fire?
Store.level1text.com.
but isn't any kind of fashion also going to take that argument?
I mean, you could take that argument, except like there's something that's like I genuinely like this and it's well made and it's like, and then there's this which is like a mass produced
Well,
item.
somebody might really love it. It might actually bring someone
But
joy. to
you
have
could
that
just
site.
buy it for like
$20.
yeah, and not
Or less.
200.
Yeah, but that's so true for like clothing as well.
I guess yeah.
Can we get the meme engines fired up? I need something that's along the same vein as the Balenciaga Harry Potter, but with the Apple sock.
And Meta, wow, maybe the tech thing is really turning around, and they are just going to be in charge from now on because they're starting to win these court cases when you would never see stuff like this before.
Meta defeats antitrust case over Instagram and WhatsApp acquisitions. This is not one that I had on my bingo card for 2025. I thought it was a slam dunk that Meta is like, yeah, that was the whole point.
The judge basically was like, you know what? TikTok's more popular now, and YouTube, and you guys kind of suck. So yeah, we'll just throw this out.
Which it's like it's not about popularity. Like,
Yes, it is. Everything's about popularity.
do you think they just casually like slipped him, a few thousand?
It's like, this has been in the court long enough. I'm tired of dealing with you people. Get out.
You think he'll maybe be spending Christmas in Hawaii? And WhatsApp, is one of those things that was spared from that lawsuit. And how are they doing with their security, we must ask?
Researchers claim the largest leak ever after uncovering WhatsApp enumeration flaw. So they used the access to the API to scan 7,000 phone numbers per minute. And they were able to match up WhatsApp accounts with government employees and famous people and all kinds of crazy stuff.
3.5 billion they were able to search. And they said, we were amazed the first time we did 7,000 per second. We were like, oh man, we're going to get rate limited so hard here. Nope.
They could just keep going.
No rate limits. They did get a quote from WhatsApp in here. It's funny. It's like toward the bottom, and they're like, yes, we've been thinking about doing some of this testing, and we're happy that they did this. They've helped us.
I mean, I guess that's better than being angry and going after them,
But not as good as, making a product that's secure.
yeah, from the start.
And TikTok is popular. How popular are they? Well, they're so popular that they're actually going to reward you for not using their product.
TikTok will now give you badges for limiting your doom scrolling.
So if you are a teen, and yes, they're going to know that you're a teen or not.
Yeah.
If you don't doom scroll at night and you just sleep, you will get a reward for that. And if they give you a warning, it's like, oh, maybe you've been on too much, and you actually heed that warning, again, you will be rewarded.
Is this going to happen in real TikTok or like the new clone of TikTok for America?
The new clone probably won't have to worry about that, right?
Because no one's using it?
Well, no, because they'll be protected because they're like quasi-governmental at this point.
We've got
I don't
some
trust
really, really amazing nonsense for you on Friday. Like,
We
it's just
do.
insane.
And,
Reality is just nonsense anymore.
you're going to be all turgid from your leftovers, and you definitely don't want to be out shopping on Friday. Jesus,
No.
that's insane.
So just be here with us.